When I decided to row across the Atlantic Ocean, the first person that I contacted was one of the only people in Ireland to have ever done this. And he told me straight away, he said, this is going to be 90% mental. This isn't going to be a question of how good a rower you are. It isn't going to be a question of how much ocean experience you have. It's going to be all in your top 2 inches. I was delighted to hear this because I'd never rowed a boat before.
Now, the easiest thing in the world would have been for me to accept that my past should somehow dictate my future, that I had no business trying to redefine myself as I closed in on 30 years of age, that the first 28 years of my life should directly determine the next 28 years of my life. And I think we all get caught here far too often, over-rationalizing, over-analyzing, and overthinking, talking ourselves out of things instead of talking ourselves into things.
See some things in Tour de Géant that I'm pretty sure you would never see at a North American race. This year, a friend of mine came across a man with his pants down around his ankles, standing at a water trough, giving his testicles a bit of a splash splash to cool them down.
It's just that I have this craving for adventure. Back in 1997, Frank Wolf and I would run the West Coast Trail, Gary, in a day, in actually just 10 hours, in fact, 10 hours, 13 minutes, 5 minutes slower than Gary. And there you go. And a lot of people thought we were mad, saying we're moving way, way too fast to see anything. But nothing could have been further from the truth. It was like the slowing down of time during an accident. I perceived everything with this heightened sense of clarity.
I'm turning 40 in a couple weeks, and I've been feeling devastated about not having a husband, kids, or a pension plan. But I found this quote on Facebook that says, everyone I know is getting married or pregnant. I'm just getting more awesome.
You may be inspired tonight by one of the speakers and say, I want to do that ocean, I want to do that mountain, but how can I do it?
Everyone in Vancouver loves the grind, and that's what it's, we can learn so much from the grind. You know, when you go out there, when I go out there, we're both suffering, we're both sacrificing, we're both, you know, I just got to suffer a little bit less, but.
My two counterparts in Australia and New Zealand were 6'8", 230 or 240. So they're big men, and in a sport of power and leverage, it's a big difference. So in the year leading up to Beijing, I tried to close that gap by eating 9 to 10,000 calories a day. And trust me, it's fun for the first day or two, and then just becomes a huge chore.
I think that sometimes we get so obsessed with our race goals and expedition agendas that we forget to love the very essence of the thing that we do. Well, I did anyway. So, I don't recommend quitting. Even if you have a good reason, it still sucks. But I do recommend taking every chance to remember why we love the things that we do.
And this is always the hardest part. You build the friendships, and the team riders get to understand the day-to-day routine and get a feel for it and get comfortable, and it's time to say goodbye, and then you have to train a whole new team up.